Ach, up, ach, up, ach. Oh, wang, 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 wang. Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and today is a victory lap video. Today is celebrating a dream decades in the making. So it's going to be somewhat navel gazy, but I want to tell you a little bit about my story and where I'm at today and why it is so important. So this is Shattered Gods. This is my epic fantasy novel, which just came out. It is 710 pages long, the first book in the series. I'm anticipating the series to be something like 10 to 12 novels long, with a bunch of side, novels and series in this same world. This is something I've been working on since I was a little kid. And despite the fact that this is my 36th novel in print, this is the one that matters the most. This is the one that I was working on since I was a little kid. This is the one that when I was a little kid and I thought about, hey, what do I want to do when I grow up? I thought, I want to be an author and I want to tell stories about dragons and elves and magic and gods and this is what I wanted to do. And as I got older, I read more stories and discovered the Wheel of Time and, Conan and, oh gosh, Narnia and 100 other different fantasy worlds. And then started hitting science fiction like Dune, Frank Herbert's wonderful, wonderful setting. I kept wanting to do my own original setting. I wanted to tell my own master tale. I wanted to get to the point where I could, delight and entertain. But I think what derails almost all authors, almost all of us, so like 99%, I would say, and this is why most of us never finish a book, is as long as we haven't finished it, it's perfect. It's perfect. In my head, I have this conception. I had this conception of what Shattered Gods was going to be, of what the novel was. But once it's written and you put it out there, now it's going to be judged. Now it's fixed and it's imperfect. And that's rough to deal with. And so a lot of us aren't willing to do so. And so I cheated. I took, in a way, the coward's route. Rather than sit down and write my novel, I said, you know what, I'm not ready. I don't have the skills for this. And so back in about 2010, I said, what if I wrote a different novel? And this took a big step for me mentally because I think most writers, we only envision ever writing one book. When we get started and we think, okay, I'm an author, you have my novel or my book, and that's what you're working on. And it can go for days or weeks or months or years. And the idea that you might have to produce more books when you're done with that is somewhat surprising. But I figured that out fairly early in my author career, way back in 2010. I'm going to have to write more than one. And so what I'm going to do is write a whole bunch of books and learn how to be a good author, and then I'll write my epic fantasy series. And it's paying off. It's paying off. This novel is epic fantasy in nature, but what I call epic fantasy has evolved. And there are new subgenres that are based around this, one of which is called progression fantasy. Perfectly fits what I write, where you've got a cast of characters following an easy to understand system where they're getting stronger over time. It fits perfectly, but this new audience is very stringent. They come from lit RPG, the vast majority of them, and they're sticklers. They really tear you apart in reviews. And I've taken some hits before on books like The Dark Lord Bert from this audience. They can be not nice sometimes, which is fine. Absolutely, as a fan, post your reviews. But I was afraid to face them. Well, Shattered Gods came out last Friday, so it's been a week now. My book is in play. Actually, was it Friday? Yeah, I think so. Came out on the 1st, whatever day that was. But it's been out for a few days, and it's got 8 reviews, and all of them are 5-star. I figured it would take a while for reviews to show up because this book is a tome and a half. It's a dense read, but people are telling me, some people say they read it in one sitting, which to me is crazy and also says I'm doing something right. I don't know if the book is good, but I do know that the initial fan reactions are good. I'm already, knee deep in the plotting of the sequel, and this is what I've always wanted to do. So fingers crossed. Now, for those of you that are authors and are probably asking in your head a bunch of launch questions, this was a terribly structured launch, as so many of my launches have been since since my son was born. But that's okay. So my basic plan for the launch was this: launch at full price at $4.99 on August 1st. Put some ad money into it, tell a few friends, and then August 15th, I'll do a discounted sale, drop it to $2.99. I'll do some swaps. So I just told my own list. It made it up to about number, 2,500 in the store, and then settled in around 4,000. at full price. That's the great part for me because, typically I go with 99 cents on a new series and it shoots right up to the top, which is great. It'll sit there right in the top 100 in some cases. But again, that's at 99 cents, not at 4.99 like I'm doing now. So anyway, enough about the marketing stuff. The book itself seems strong. The setting is strong. I'm loving this stuff, and I can produce it endlessly. I have so many more novels in this series, and I'm really proud of what I've written. I can't tell you how good it feels to hold this because, man, when I was a kid, this is what a book is supposed to feel like. When I picked up the Eye of the World, I wanted to know, oh my gosh, I'm going to be lost in this world for a while. I can sit down, on a Saturday morning and start reading, and when I look up for dinner, I've still got book left. That was rare when I was a kid, even though the Eye of the World, you get through it eventually. Anyway, guys, I'm going to keep the video fairly short. I woke up very excited because, again, my book is out. That's just amazing to me. For those of you that are fans of the channel, I am now also working on the 5,000 words per hour course. Primarily, I'm working on getting the new branding and on re-recording a few of the videos. Your feedback on that has been tremendously useful. We had 500 people go through the beta, and lots of people have said, hey, I'm writing more and more consistently and faster. So that's working really well. So kind of what I'm juggling at this point is plotting book 2 and getting the course dealt with and out to market as it should be. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the writing and to the holding of my book and the sipping of my coffee as I think about, man, I made it as a fantasy author. I'm finally an epic fantasy author, and I will see you guys next week.